Today on Sports Betting Truth, we're going to talk about arbitrage betting and why I'm not a fan of it at all. Now, for those of you who don't know, arbitrage betting is when two different books are offering two different lines. So say, for example, here at the ARIA book where I'm at right now, they're offering like the Mariners plus 120. And then across the street at the Cosmopolitan, they're offering the Rays, who are playing the Mariners, plus 120. So if you put bets on both sides, you're guaranteed to profit either way, because both of them are at plus money. In a more rare occasion, say in football, you have the Colts plus 3 right here at the ARIA, and across the street they're playing the Bengals, and the Bengals are plus 3 at the Cosmopolitan. So you can place a bet on both sides, you're guaranteed to win at least one of them, and there's a chances are you could win both. And that's what arbitrage betting is. It's a form of advantage playing where you try to take advantage of the difference in odds and lines across multiple books. Now you're probably thinking, what's wrong with that? Guaranteed profits and everything. What's the matter with that? Well, I have some gripes with that, unfortunately. It's not all it's cracked up to be. First of all, it's pretty hard to have access to all these books. In person here in Las Vegas, they're all the lines, you're not going to find a lot of arbitrage opportunities here in Las Vegas because all the books are pretty much on the same page when it comes to lines. And when one book changes, all the rest of them follow pretty quickly. I know during college football one time I was at the Westgate, and it was Michigan and Florida in 2017, I think. And Michigan went from like minus 4.5 to minus 2 or something like that, right? At the Stratosphere. And I was at the Westgate, and they were still minus 4.5 at the Westgate. So I was like, if I can get to the Stratosphere and get the minus 2, I'll be able to get on Michigan. And it's not that far. The Stratosphere and Westgate, it's not that, they're pretty close. And so I drove over to the Stratosphere, and when you have to take into account the traffic and the red lights and parking and actually getting to the book, that's, even though they're pretty close to each other, that's like 15, 20 minutes right there. And so by the time I got to the Stratosphere, I placed the bet on Michigan minus 2. Thankfully, it was still up. But as soon as I placed the bet, it went to minus 4.5 to match all the other books in Las Vegas. It's just not practical because you still have to get around in person here in Las Vegas to take advantage of any arbitrage opportunities that exist. And it's a lot easier said than done. So I know what you're thinking. You're like, well, get the Las Vegas Casino apps, blah, blah, blah. Well, you still have to sign up for all these apps. You still have to make deposits with all these apps. So it's like, there's a lot of obstacles you have to clear to be able to do that. And like I said, it's pretty rare that a line is different from all the other lines in Las Vegas. They catch up pretty quickly, and it's hard to take advantage. A half point, a point, yeah, that's going to exist, but like any real arbitrage opportunities, especially with money lines, yeah, that's not realistic in Las Vegas. So then you're just going to say, well, I'll just do it online, right? I'll just open up a lot of accounts online and take advantage. Well, like I said, if you're in the United States, for example, a lot easier said than done. Overseas books, that's opening a lot of accounts, and do you really trust all these overseas books, right? You got to open an account with them. You probably got to verify with them and make deposits with them and send in your utility bills and all that to make sure you verify your ID. And that's a lot of obstacles to clear to be able to take advantage, And like I said, you got to deposit at all these books as well, and withdrawing might be a pain. And, that's a lot of obstacles to clear to be able to take advantage of arbitrage betting in online books. I don't know about you, but I don't trust online books very much, especially the overseas ones in Costa Rica and other sketchy entities like that. So that's a no-go for me. So I just walked from the ARIA to the Cosmo Sportsbook. It took me about 12, 13 minutes, and that's a long time. Any arbitrage opportunities you have are going to go away probably. And that's on a weekday morning when nobody's on the strip and very easy to get around, no crowds or anything. So that should give you an idea of how unrealistic it is to get from book to book. And these two are right across the street, right next to each other. So my second issue with arbitrage betting is that it takes a lot of investment for it to be worth it. If you're an $100 bettor and you do the plus 120 on each side, if you're only going to profit $20. Is that really worth all the effort and time it takes to even set up those arbitrage opportunities? $20. If you're a $1,000 bettor, it's $200. And, it's going to take a lot to get $1,000 deposited across multiple books, right? Whether they be online or in Las Vegas. So is $200, with the rare plus 120 arbitrage opportunity worth it? Worth all the effort it takes? That's up to you to decide, but for me, it's not. Depositing $1,000 across multiple books or apps or whatever is, do you really want to tie up all your money like that in books just for arbitrage opportunities? I personally wouldn't, especially online books where you can't really trust them. And my third and biggest issue with arbitrage betting is that sportsbooks aren't stupid. They know where their arbitrage weaknesses are. They know the opportunities. So if they see you consistently betting arbitrage opportunities, they're just going to ban you, whether it be online or in Las Vegas or wherever. They know. It's just a matter of time before you get banned. So you spend all this time and effort setting up, multiple deposits across several different books, whether it be online or Las Vegas or whatever, only to get banned. I mean, you might have made some profit, but they're going to catch you sooner or later, and it's just not worth it. And the thing with online books, if they ban you, they're going to take all your money that you have deposited. They're not going to give it back to you. And what are you going to do if they don't? Like, call the Costa Rica Gaming Commission or whatever? Good luck with that. So it's just not worth it. It's too big of a risk, and you're going to get banned anyway. Why even bother, But, having this channel, I have a lot of people reach out to me saying, arbitrage, that's the way, do it. And I don't know if they really know what they're talking about because, they obviously haven't been doing it long enough to, have gotten banned or whatever. I'm not saying you're going to get banned right away, but you will eventually, and it's just not worth the risk. Now, I do want to point out that arbitrage is not the same thing as middling. Middling is really more of luck than it is just taking advantage of odds differentials, because middling you have to get on a line first and then wait for the line to change, so there's no guarantee that you're going to get a middle opportunity. And then personally, my biggest reason for opposing arbitrage betting is I think it takes all the fun out of it. It's the same as fishing with dynamite or hunting deer with an AR. It takes all the sport and challenge out of it. It turns it from a game of skill into more of like a scavenger hunt. You're just hunting around looking for mismatched lines, and that's not fun. That takes all the skill out of it. For me, part of the major appeal of sports betting for me is the challenge. The money, yeah, that's fine if you're winning, but the challenge of being able to say you're in that 1% that profits long term, that's where I get enjoyment from sports betting. And arbitrage betting, that's not my scene. It's not fun. So that's why I oppose arbitrage betting personally. That's my number one reason. So if you want to arbitrage bet, be my guest. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm not, hating on people who do. That's your choice. Just understand the risks involved, especially with getting banned. Understand the amount of investment and effort it takes to be able to be in an arbitrage betting position, and understand the risks. And as long as you understand all that and still go ahead, knock yourself out. Just don't come crying to me if it backfires on you. Well, until next time, this is Sports Betting Truth signing off from MGM Grand.